Hello there, and welcome to a fast-forwarded version of Curtain Call. Once again, I've realized that trying to get everybody's attacks in here with these harder, higher-level ops is getting a little bit tricky, just because there's a lot of attacks. These be obviously the last Curtain Call, this Curtain Call as well. More pushing, I guess, the boundaries of our skill. Not able to just, like, nice and easy down it in 11 attacks, which seems to be the normal. So, bear with. If there is something you don't see, hopefully you can like take it down to half speed. If you take it down to half speed, it should be easier to see whatever that is that you wanted to see. So, first attack, this is, again, another wicked old school strat that we used to employ, and really I haven't seen this done in forever, because Creech, as you saw, rolled in and just destroyed everything in that area. Just did all kinds of damage. And kind of cleared the way for stupid Zookas to go rolling through. How appropriate. Those stupid Zookas. Anyway, well, it's Zookas. They've been landed, right? I assume that's where the name comes from. So SZ, or SZ, for those Canadian-type peoples watching, came up to basically the area that Creech cleared out, and then finished off the dirty work, throwing down some shocks, and then walked his stupid Zookas up into the, I guess we'll call it 9 o'clock, from the base, and then just kind of laid in there. And obviously the shock launcher took its pound of flesh, but fortunately, because he kind of cleared all the defenses in that general area, he was able to roll up into the very back corner where the mortars and whatnot are just out of range, as is the shock launcher. And then from there, he sits with his little group of Zookas and burns that core down like a mofo. Moving on, Dioxin down in 2. We still kind of do that, only much cooler down in 2, with a much larger core on it, it seems. But moving on to Connie, or Conifold, something like that. And once again, it's me doing the attack. I'm kind of lucky because this landing is not hot, and I landed everything over on the right hand side and flared way back, because I actually messed up. I should have gone a little further back like that, because when you flare onto the side right there, it flattens your troops out and you get like a nice tight cluster. They have to, because of the way the pathing works, they have to kind of group up on each other to get to that flare. And once I get up into that corner, it's a quick 2 shocks. A quick 1 shock, because I flash killed the rocket launcher, and then I went over to the bag. Fortunately, there's nothing. Once that rocket launcher and shock launcher are down, it's just a matter of letting the Zookas kind of roll forward, clear out the very back of the core, and then ultimately do some work on that mofo. We don't really do this anymore, just because when you get to the higher level Connies, you gotta watch out, because the defenses in the back there start getting a lot nastier. There's more of them, there's more things in the way, there's normally rocket launchers on the front side that can reach to the back side. You know, it gets a little nastier, but we'll get to those when we get to those. Anyways, with Connie down, moving on to our next victim, which is Strange Attractors, or SA. Saw, brah. Saw. And Honestly, we've this is one of the newer op maps, I guess, which has been really nice because we have definitely gone through a couple different variations on how we hit SA. And honestly, this one is one of our earlier ones. It's been much refined. As you can see, Tails is smoking all of his ladies into the very back there. But that's like a buttload of shocks, because those lasers, I'm pretty... Oh, shoot. The lasers aren't going to hit. But the rocket launchers are. So, you know, you start getting into some pretty rough territory. And when you set yourself up at, we're going to call this 12... from the core, and you're trying to burn through that massive shield, all of the grapplers in behind there just start plucking away your troops, and it's a battle of attrition. Eventually they burn you down. So what we've done is we've kind of changed our standard hit, and instead of doing smoky Zukas and trying to, like, you know, smoke up there and do things, Rifle Zuka is super powerful against this map, because you can take out that grappler right on the beach and just work your way around the outside. You can clear out all of those grapplers and everything, and with 2 or 3 boatloads of riflemen, by the time you get around to finishing this section off with a couple of critters and a couple of shocks, one, you're almost out of riflemen because you use your riflemen up as you go, and 2, you've already done a bunch of damage to the core by taking out so many buildings and whatnot. So when you do eventually make it up to that HQ, it's very quick and painless to just sit there and burn it down, including its entire shield, especially because I guess, like, between 9 and 12, that area in there is where you're going to eventually end up, but normally it's fairly clean, and it's a fairly decent safe spot, because even if they have, like, shock launchers or laser beams down there in the middle where the laser beams are on this, the shock launchers still won't reach over to that back corner at 12, so you can set up shop there and just melt away with nothing behind you to pick off your poor troops. Alright, man. So with SA down, into Fang, whole Fang you. Fang, honestly, is still just one of those dirty, nasty maps that we almost, like, every time we hit it, it's almost a little bit different. Like, sometimes we go left, sometimes we go right, sometimes we go, like, around the back. Like, all kinds of weird things happen with Fang, just based on what defenses are actually down, where they're located, how many there are, what the spacing's like, you know, all the crazy things. It's a very fluid map, almost as much as, I'd say, Strategize, which, like, Strategize is one of my favorite maps, because every time we hit this silly thing, it's a little bit different because of the layout and because of the defenses you get and everything, which, you know, kind of makes it super fun. So, Fang, in the same sort of net, we still pretty much use this strategy even on DC. We normally will pick right side if it doesn't look too ridiculous, run some Zukas up into the cluster of rocket launcher insanity, take out as many rocket launchers as we possibly can, and then on the right hand side we normally drop Grens to start clearing up all those cannons, as well as the machine guns and the shield generators and whatnot, and then start, like, pounding away in. So obviously, first attack, bit of a slip up, didn't get quite as many rocket launchers as I'm sure he was hoping for, but hey, it happens to everybody. Trust me, I have seen enough amazingly ridiculous, awesome attacks from Rooster to know that that is a weird one-off, and I assure you, you will be seeing more of him, because he's still hanging around. He's out there kicking butt and chewing bubblegum, or chewing bubblegumming Anyways, he can't chew bubble gum and kick butt at the same time. I don't know, kind of like walking and chewing bubble gum. So, perfect example from Tar here, where he is kind of flushing through and just taking out as much as possible. And he does eventually get up into the range where he's obviously getting whacked by the rocket launchers, but that's okay, because he can still clear out the vast majority of what he needs to clear out. And then Crucifix, another name that I just haven't seen in a million years. It's kind of like a blast from the past. Launches the 4/4 Scuzzy Zuka? Can you, yes, Scorcher Zuka. Skuka? We're gonna go with Skuka. So the Crucifix throws the 4/4 Skuka, just trying to take out all of the sniper towers and whatnot. Honestly, we don't really do that anymore. I guess, I don't know if it's just people's statues have been improving or troop levels have been getting increased, but normally by the time we take down the machine guns and the rocket launchers, and sorry, cannons over on the right hand side, and whatever rocket launchers I guess on the right hand side too, we're kind of, you know, the shields are down and we pull in through that right hand side. So if you're able to get those shields down without having to go through all the sniper towers, by all means, that's a far better strategy. It looks like Tar rolled in and is doing another 4/4, just trying to clear up all the defenses and kind of destroy some things right in front of the core to make it easier for that final run in to hit the core with a probably like a 1/7 split. Again, because these attacks are so old, I'm not even sure anymore, you know, what was really going on. They were a while ago. No, oh, okay, it looks like we're going 4/4. DG busting out a Scorcher Zuka extravaganza, throwing some flak critters, just trying to get the attention of all the rocket launchers so that her troops can come in nice and safe and just pound away on that core. Actually, this is a really nice attack for D. I'm a big fan. Absolutely smoked that core from pretty much full. Obviously, like, it was a little down just because of, you know, buildings that had been destroyed and stuff, but really, she did some work on that core. Big fan. Good job. Anyways, moving on for our final core in this particular curtain call, or no, maybe not final, second penultimate core. Oh, how often do you get to drop penultimate core? All right, so for the penultimate core, wow, this shows you how long ago. Look at those landing crafts. Those are landing crafts that haven't even hit level 25. That's just mind-blowing. Like, honestly, if you look at all of the people in the task force now, everybody's got level 26 landing crafts, you know, maxed troops, obviously. Some sort of, you know, like 7-3 or 6-4 or like another crazy statue combination to do damage. Oh, smooth Cobb. Big fan of that. So what Cobb just did there, you know how it is. So at the end of the smokes, in order to save the extra energy of having to drop another smoke, he just left the flare in the top right hand corner and threw the shock so that as his troops emerged from the smoke, they'd be able to start shooting away and he wouldn't have to worry about anything. Absolutely amazing run. I love that technique. Very, very useful. If sometimes you'll get tech crunches where in the back corner there you get a whole bunch of different pegs or bulbs, or whatever those little green light bulbs are called. Core bait, free GBE, I don't know. Anyways, the point is that every once in a while what'll happen is you'll get a tech crunch that has a bunch of those in the back corner, and you can't really drop your troops there safely without having them spread out way too far because of all these stupid nodes. And by flaring into that corner, throwing the shock down just as you're emerging from the smoke, it really does actually help deal with getting through that, I guess, problem, or getting around the spread out, because it doesn't matter if they spread out, you're just killing all of the things anyways. Okay, so final core, RF, going at it. This is Tarsier? I don't know. Tarsier? I'm not sure how you say the stupid name, but I do know that this strategy is like mind-blowingly antiquated. Especially that. So, as you can see, what RF is trying to do is like roll through here, kill some defenses, and make life a little easier on the next person to come through who's going after the core. Like, do the prep work is what he's really trying to do. And mamma mia, we do not do that anymore. It is straight to the core and wham bam, thank you ma'am. Or sir, I don't know, could be either. It's a core, it could be neither. So it is hilarious to see this clearing strategy. Obviously it does work if you don't feel comfortable being able to smoke up and down the core, which you're going to see a lot more of in the DC videos. This is totally valid. You could do some clearing and take down the core with a couple of hits, especially if you're slightly lower level operation or task force. Anyways, guys, as you can see, all in all, it's a little rough and a little bumpy with some of our very first curtain call attacks. Absolutely gorgeous Zuka landing there by Mez. The grouping on those Zukas is fantastic. But I digress. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully it's been entertaining. And above all else, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.